I want to give a big thank you to Arc Captain for helping us with today's project and with every project, welding project that we have from this day forward. There is a link in the description down below if you'd like to check out their affordable products for yourself. Today's video is a compilation of an entire week, me and Braven going hard on the Colorado to try to get as much done as possible. This is a much longer form video than what we normally make. Most certainly let us know in the comments if you enjoy this style of video. Maybe we'll do this more often, but let's get to it. What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we're picking back up on the Colorado. Picking right back up where we left off. So we want to kind of box these in, at least build a couple gussets on each side of these to stiffen those up. And then we need to get the anti-roll bar on the truck today. Those are the last couple of things that we have left to do before our focus is gonna actually turn to the engine. And then we'll have our hallway back because Braven's engine's currently sitting in our hallway. Oh, damn tire. I do it every time. I got the templates made. They're basically the same, just this side is 4.5 inches tall. And it's gonna sit just like that, obviously flush, bang bang. And then this side is only 4 inches tall. It's a little shorter and it'll sit like that. Though we could also kind of put it at a little bit of an angle like that if we wanted to, just so it's a little more wide open to get to that nut. But it is what it is, man. That's pretty much it. I don't know why I cut it out of cardboard. That's kind of a waste of time because they're just simple little triangles. Now I need to cut it out of steel. Alright, got all these guys cut out, and Braven ended up getting a bar cut that'll fit in between here. So this bar is going to be the mounting point for the anti-roll bar. So we need basically the center of this to be in line with the center point of that down there. Yeah. We're also trying to utilize keeping the anti-roll bar as wide as possible, because the wider it is, the more effective it is. Whenever you start narrowing it, it loses its ability to do what it is it needs to do, you know? So if we can keep it as wide as physically possible, that would be best case scenario for us. Anyhow, I need to do a little bit of a, because these aren't perfectly square. Well, actually this side is pretty damn good. It's the other side. I gotta do a little bit of trimming on to get it to fit in there perfectly. Yeah, buddy, that's a hefty ass bar there, buddy. Wow. Good Lord.
Especially not applying any force, just letting it eat itself away, man.
Yeah, trying to get it to cut as straight as possible. Hey, we got a little piece left. Use that for something. Hey, maybe a shift knob. Yeah. Alright, so those guys are pretty much ready. We just gotta tack them in and weld them. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing ready to get tacked in and welded before we bust the old welder out.
Pop the breaker.
Where you plugged in at?
I hear him though.
Yeah, so we run into this problem all the time, man. We're running this welder off of a 120 plug. I explain the reason why a little later in the video. You guys don't normally see this struggle that we go through because I cut it out. I'm leaving it in this time just so you guys can understand just how exciting it is to finally fix this issue later in the video. Raven's always having to resort to kind of stitch welding like this here that he's doing on the video now to avoid from overheating the circuit and popping the breaker.
Did that pop? Fuck, dude.
They ran right to the fucking hole in the pants. Oh.
Bro, the fucking camera angle is just a square right here, and it just shows nothing but you, like.
Yeah. Bro, I landed on my nut, dude. Shit hurt.
Alright, so got these gussets welded in. I mean, if you could even call them gussets, because it kind of looks like one piece now. Yeah, it came out really clean, dude. Went ahead and ground the weld down. This was the idea. We kind of stacked these on the end, so we completely fill that in with weld and just grind it smooth so it has that appearance of just being one solid piece. But those came out really freaking clean. I think that added the extra strength that it most certainly needed. Braven got this thing all mapped out, and this is where the anti-roll bar is gonna live. Look, we went through every single possibility of mounting this thing. We had it in the back with the bars going forward. We had it under the frame, bars going forward, bars going back, under the frame. The best place is gonna be right here. And then what's going to be nice about this is the anti-roll bar is going to be able to mount directly to the top of the rear end. So we'll weld those tabs there, and that's going to be the least amount of shear force possible, so that those things will be good and strong with them welded right on top. But anyhow, we have this thing all measured, left to right, front, centered, all that kind of stuff. Braven's going to go ahead and get that thing tacked in now. And then we got to work on getting the tabs and everything for the rear end all set up and get those ready to be welded. And while he's doing that, I'm going to be cleaning up tabs, because these were, it looks like plasma torch cut, like a CNC plasma, and they're a little messy, so I got to clean up the slag on them. Very nice.
Very, very nice.
It's got motion, twin. Is that what they say?
Yeah, it does have motion, twin.
Is that the saying?
That is the saying.
Look at that motion, twin. Anyhow, the brackets now. So we have to make bars that are going to go from here to there. And the brackets that are going to attach it to the rear end are these guys. I went ahead and bolted them together because this is designed to go on a tube, but we're going to be bolting it flat on top of this guy. So I don't know if, since being that the top of the rear end isn't perfectly flat, I don't know, I think one side's going to have to be a little shorter than the other side for them to be straight with one another. But I'm just going to start off by knocking those off and just get all four of them flat, and then we'll go from there and figure out if we need to make a couple of them slightly shorter or whatever. As for the bars, this is the supplied material here. Basically what we're going to do with this is just go ahead and cut it directly in half, and then we can figure out later what the length actually needs to be if it ends up needing to be shorter than that. And these are the ends that actually get welded in, so these will slide into the bar on each side. There's 4 of them, and then that's what will create our, are these called end links also? I don't know either. This is what's going to create our end links, for lack of a better term, man. I don't know what they're actually called, but
we're not telling you guys how to do this.
Yeah.
We're just showing you guys us doing it. So we don't know what the hell this stuff is called.
yeah. Anyhow, I do know 2 of these are reverse thread and the other 2 are regular thread, so that's why whenever it's actually assembled, you can adjust the length longer or shorter just by twisting the bar after you loosen the jam nuts. So we got to make sure that we get at least 1 of each on each bar, you know. But for the time being, they're just going to get taped on here. We're not going to weld all this together because, like I said, we got to figure out the exact length. But honestly, it looks like you might end up needing longer. I don't know if cutting that thing in half is even going to be enough. These are going to be pretty long bars. Well, those end links add quite a bit of length also.
That found its home.
Yeah, so having one of those on each side, of course, can add a lot of length. You know what?
It'd be solid.
Yeah, I think cutting it right in half.
It'd be probably pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be close to perfect. And just these all the way in.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Dang, we don't even have to tape them, bro. I got the tabs bolted on here so that we can get this kind of lined up and welded in, and we put an extra washer in between there just to make sure that whenever we weld these on, this doesn't end up being too tight. What I was mentioning earlier about how I think one of these is going to end up needing to be slightly shorter is because where it's mounting at right here, the housing isn't flat, it's going up at an angle, you know. So we're probably going to end up having to cut one side of these a little shorter. New and improved shortened bar and staggered tabs. Yes. Well, hopefully it's good. We'll have to get the other set out.
What other set?
Well, hopefully it's good. Feels okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
Whoa! Alright. Found some shit loose.
Oh,
Well, get the welder out. Weld check. The truck turned around because we actually plan on putting the engine in. We're gonna get the engine in, we gotta get the transmission in, and then we need to start fabbing up a cross member for the transmission because we're gonna be showing you guys Braven's new transmission as well. He ended up going with something different than his original plan. Now I'm currently working on making some templates for this area right here. For this elbow is what I like to call it. It's a freaking elbow, and we don't want it to be able to move ever. So I don't know, man, just having that seam, just this welded seam right here, it kind of, you know, like stresses me out a little bit. We've mentioned many times that we've never done this before. Obviously we're not like structural engineers, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that we are doing on this, especially like up here, like all of this, it's a little over engineered, and it's because of the fear of something going wrong, man. And to me, this truck is gonna have the ability to lift the front end off. It might be like impressive pulling the front end up. It's cool, believe me, it's super exciting for any kind of car guy. But if you truly understand drag racing, you know that that's actually not a good thing. Like, it is a representation of having a lot of power, but it means that you do not have your chassis dialed in very well. So there's a lot of things that go into play for that, you know, shock settings and suspension setup and all that kind of stuff. Pulling the front of the truck up in the air, it's really cool. It's exciting to see. Probably really exciting to be in the driver's seat while doing it, but that does not win races, and realistically that just means that you do not have your suspension and everything dialed in the way that it needs to be on the surface that you're on. But anyhow, with that out of the way, this truck is going to be capable of doing that, you know. Now imagine if it did pull the front end of the truck up, all of the weight, all of everything is on, I feel like, this pivoting point right here. I mean, it is dispersed, but all of that energy is going to be back here. And I just really want this area right here to be strong, even if it is over engineered. Anyhow, with that being said, I've been up this morning just kind of making some templates for this, getting an idea of exactly what it is I want. Dylan, at the place that he works, actually has access to a CNC plasma cutting table, I believe is what it is. Either way, he's able to cut thick steel out with a computer navigatedly cut thick steel out. So I'm making some templates for him. He offered that he can do that kind of stuff, you know, over at his shop. So, but I actually just got a phone call from him, and he is on his way. He said he's bringing his laptop with him, so maybe we'll be able to just simply design these inside of his laptop. He's also bringing a surprise, man. Something is being given to me to be in my possession as of today. Surprise! Yeah, the giveaway car is now in my possession, man. You guys already know what that means, but we'll talk more about that in tomorrow's video. As for today, I just got done telling him I was making templates for you.
Oh yeah.
But you're bringing your laptop over. Wow, look at that. Will you be able to cut that out tomorrow or what?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so he put some little cutouts in that section also. This guy. So it's gonna have some little cutouts right here just to give us some style, you know? Uh-oh, Braven's here.
What's up, guys? I'm back from work. Currently I'm gonna be cleaning up the Colorado, getting it prepped and ready to throw the engine in.
Alright, Braven went through and got this thing all cleaned up, so all these dang brand new parts look brand new again. Got the inside all wiped out. Got the cage all wiped down with some WD-40, get it all shiny. Moving on, it is time to go ahead and take a big old void that it's got right here. Alright, so we got to get this lift plate bolted on here so that we can lift this thing up and get the engine bag off of it. We're trying not to tear the engine bag up, so we have something to kind of cover the engine with while it's in there. I mean, this thing is so like clean and pretty and expensive, you know. Yeah, we'll definitely have to put the hood on the truck, just kind of keep all the dust away. It's not gonna stop the spiders, bro.
There hasn't been many spiders on the truck though.
No?
There's no spider webs on this.
Really?
No.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually...
Everything else has fucking spider webs. Anyhow, we gotta lift it up, get the bag off. We gotta remove his water neck he has up here. This is just a water pass-through, like a water block basically, because his water pump is actually gonna be in the back of the truck. But we need to remove that and get his front plate mounted, because this engine doesn't have engine mounts. If you guys remember, I know this truck, this series has taken a really long time. So a lot of you guys are probably either new to the channel or it's been so long you forgot already. But this thing does have a mid plate and a front plate that's already been fabricated and completed in an older video a year ago. Here's his front plate. Braven already got this powder coated. It's like a polished. Look at the size of that damn valve down there, dude.
Camera doesn't do justice.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, those intake valves on these things are freaking ridiculous, man. Borowski, baby. All right, let's get it up in the air.
It's pretty sunk in there, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's pretty sunk. I forgot how the engine set. It's pretty sunk.
Especially if I have the higher.
That fucking looks good, boy. This starting to look like a fucking truck.
I like the chrome.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I think it's just gonna have that little extra. Like, I was thinking about doing black, but I was like, I just don't want there to be so much black all over the place. You know what I mean?
Three, two, one, launch.
Damn.
Can you imagine if fucking oil can smack the ground? Oops, we didn't account for that. That was the first thing we accounted for. What are you doing with that guy? What's wrong?
Big boy. Oh, he's such a big
Feel his little yeah, feel
Oh, he's a man right there. That's a real boy. Look at you.
He's picking on the babies.
Look at the better.
He's
Dark.
gorgeous.
All right, Braven got the steam port line all ran. That's all finalized. It's actually tightened down this time and sealed up. Now it's time for the high ram to actually go on there. And this time, it's gonna have the freaking O-rings on it.
Alright guys, so it's currently the next day. We're picking back up where we left off yesterday. We had finished putting the engine inside of the engine bay of the old Colorado. Now that that's all wrapped up and finished, we're gonna need to move on to putting the transmission in so we can build a transmission cross member. But before we get into that, I took the anti-roll bar with me to work this morning and had our welder actually TIG weld this thing together. So got welds, got TIG welded on both sides, and then the actual bars themselves got TIG welded as well. So those are all finalized. I just reinstalled them. The next big step that we need to do before we could throw the transmission in is install this coolant line. So this is the hard line that we made. If you guys are new here, what we did was we filled up this straight pipe, aluminum pipe, with sand, and then capped off the ends with some some duct tape so it won't pour out. Heat up the areas that needed a bend, and we bent them and we shaped it to actually go around the edges of the shape of the frame and stuff before we ever back capped it. So what I'm thinking is this back angle here is not going to be drastic enough, but what we're going to do is we're going to check and see where it lands. But we have to put this in before we build the cross member for the transmission, or else we'll build the transmission cross member, put this in there, have to modify this thing halfway through, which we don't want to do.
Well, Braven has gotten his hard lines kind of ran in the truck. Granted, they don't sit obviously in the exact same place that they were in before. I don't know, do you guys remember the hard lines that we made for this truck? They're just aluminum piping basically, and it's got the AN line, the AN fittings welded on the end here, and then they come all the way up to the front and then has the AN lines welded on right there. And this is just going to loop up to this coolant block that's on the front of the engine. so they can go in and then back out, and then it'll travel all the way back to the back. Now the radiator that he had on here previously, we had this underneath the truck in the back, and honestly did a lot of work to figure all this out. It's got the electric water pump on it. Braven's already got all the AN lines built for this and all that, but since being, you know, kind of back half the truck, none of that stuff really fits now. So that radiator used to fit in between the leaf springs, and now it no longer fits there. So what we're gonna end up having to do is order a different radiator and go with a whole new plan. So this right here is basically the dimensions of the new radiator that he's going to be ordering. This is for a Jeep XJ. I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but as you guys can see, it's got 3 radiator fans, and the dimensions of it is just a lot easier to fit in a couple of different places back here. But we're just going to stop with what we're doing with that for now until we get that radiator in. They do have those available as a 3-core and a 4-core. Do they have a 4-core? 3-core. So, I mean, it should be good enough to keep this thing cool, you know? Especially with the 3 fans on it. And if we have to replace the 3 fans with a higher quality fan, you know, to really move some CFM through that radiator to keep this thing cool, then that's what we have to do. But anyhow, moving on. We're going to go ahead and get this thing sat back down on the ground. Get the bed pulled off because we got our gussets in. Dylan got these cut at his work today with their plasma CNC, which is super freaking sick, man. But we need to clean all these up because they have a little bit of slag on them.
Sorry, bro.
So we got these plates just kind of tacked on here last night. They are right where it is they need to be. But if I'm being honest with you, man, we kind of want those to be good and strong. Well, we want everything to be good and strong, but it has been a little bit of a struggle since being, I only have a 120 plug for this welder. So I bought this welder secondhand. I bought it used. It was still very expensive. I paid the guy $1,000 for it, which is a little cheaper than new. But when you buy these new from Harbor Freight, they come with a 120 plug and a 220. And unfortunately, the 220 plug did not come with it. And I have learned that you can't just buy the plug for this damn thing.
realistically, it's not the end of the world. You can make a plug for it, but I just haven't gone around to do that, man. If I'm being honest, we've always just ran it off a 120. So through the entire duration of trying to weld and get all this fabrication done on not only this truck but everything that we work on, we're always stuck with the 120 plug, and the biggest problem that we have with it is it's constantly popping the breaker. So we are moving up to an ARC Captain. This is the MiG 200 machine. Everybody that I've seen that uses this machine says that it's great. They don't have any issues with it. I personally have not had a chance to use it yet, obviously, but we're gonna try this thing out today. So right now I do not have another bottle. I don't have another welding cart. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and swap out my Vulcan. This is the Omni Pro 220, and we're gonna actually utilize this cart and the bottle and everything for our new ARC Captain MiG 200. Of course, the big thing is it's got a freaking 220 plug, man. I'm super excited about this. So our Vulcan welder, we were always kind of maxed out at 19 volts. And then we couldn't really take it over like 225 as far as wire speed. Anything over that, it would just pop the breaker like immediately. So of course I gotta try it out at 21 volts and 230 wire speed. All right, man, the thing works pretty kick-ass. I mean, I did a couple little like test pass with it, and let me tell you what, buddy, that mother trucker gets hot. We don't really share all the problems that we have when we're welding. You know, it would just be so repetitive, and whenever we share stuff like that, people would be in the comments saying that you're running 220, and you know, it's all the stuff that we already know. We really struggle sometimes, most of the time, to get things welded, man. You should see us, like what you don't see in the video is Braven's like, it popped again, and I'm literally running all the way out front to our breaker box, popping the breaker and coming back. That, or we also, because the highest amperage plugs that we have near us, the one that's inside of the kitchen is a 15 amp, and then the one that runs my garage door in here is actually a 20 amp. So I would have my step stool right here. I'd plug the welder into the 20 amp, and when it pops it, I would unplug it, plug it into that 15 amp in there so that Braven can continue welding, and then I'd run over there and pop the breaker, reset the breaker for this one, and then whenever that pops, then I'd switch it back to here, then run over. Like, dude, it's always a freaking mess. So just having the ability to actually run this thing off of 220 is going to be absolutely huge, dude, because now we don't have to worry about popping the breaker. But anyhow, I got this thing all loaded up with wire. Obviously, it just swapped everything from the other welder over to this one. Ultimately, I think I'd like to just get another welding cart. I don't want to get rid of this welder. This thing's actually, it's a really nice welder, dude. Done well for us, you know. I just really need to get a 220 plug for it.
I'd buy it from you before you sold it to someone.
This welder right here, you can get for $350. So I mean, that's pretty dope, dude. Whenever it's somebody on a budget, yeah. Like this thing costs $350. Of course, after tax and everything, it's probably a little more than that. Yeah. This one, when I bought it, was $1,500. I looked it up today, and currently, this exact welder is $1,100 right now, brand new. Yeah, so there's definitely a price difference.
Mm-hmm. My coworker bought one after the videos and stuff, and he's like, I love that thing.
Oh, the ARC Captain? Mm-hmm. Nice.
He's like, yeah, I love that thing. I think it works great.
Yeah, that's sick. Dude, it's super cheap, dude. That's what's really nice about it. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and give it a shot and use this guy to melt all this stuff in. It's going to be nice finally welding with 220. I think I've said that 1,000 times. That sounds like some sizzling bacon, huh? What do you think? Dude, the breaker thing is going to be huge.
Oh yeah, for sure. But not just that, I looked up what the meaning was of this. Too much to the hard side causes more splatter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so too much to the hard side causes it to splatter more. Too much to the soft side causes it to melt more. But the melting can also get rid of penetration. So it says to keep it within the white lines, a little bit lean towards the soft side to weld.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, I looked it up. It was set like right here. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even touch it.
Yeah. And then I see the splatters on those test pieces, and
yeah.
as soon as I tested it, it didn't splatter nothing. So I think that's probably why I splattered some.
Oh, okay.
So I just thought I'd let you know, so you know, just to look at that. And then all this stuff means something. Like this sink here, if you turn the sink on, you can set the wire, the exact wire you're using, the kind of gas you're using, and then it'll automatically set up. You could choose the thickness of the material.
Oh, so it automatically sets it.
Yeah,
the same as this one does. So this one does that, but this one has that function, but you're able to turn that function off.
Yeah, so you can turn it on and off. So you just hit the sync button and turn it off. But if you hit sync right now, it'll automatically change all this stuff to what it thinks it was before. Yeah. So I'm not going to touch it, but yeah, it does turn it on. You can change all that kind of stuff. And then the mode, and this is changing the wire diameter. And then this,
oh, I never set the wire diameter.
I set it, but it only matters whenever it's in sync mode.
Oh, okay.
So.
Alright. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't take up nearly as much space. Honestly, I think I want to make a cart to put the two Art Captain welders together. Yeah. So it has the MIG and the TIG on the same cart.
That would be nice.
I think that'd be sick, because really I need that cart for this welder because it's so much bigger, but for the time being, I think we're going to use this one a lot more than what we use that. Yeah. So,
probably.
Hell, actually, it'd be cool to maybe get the spool gun for this, because this has the option you can get the aluminum spool gun. That one does as well. We just don't have the spool gun for it. So we could literally just keep that set up to use as our MIG setup for steel, and then maybe we can set this one up as the. Oh, actually, you bought all of that.
Yeah, I bought all the stuff to turn that into TIG.
Yeah. Well, it's not TIG. It's MIG but aluminum. So it's the, isn't it the gun and everything? I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
I have to look at it too, but it's just the one you told me you wanted. So.
Yeah, I think it's the spool gun.
I don't remember.
I think we'll have to look at it, but yeah, that'd be cool to set this up as a spool gun for aluminum. And then we'll basically just have it ready to go and set up. We got to get another bottle. That's one of those big expenses that's kind of...
We need one of the big bottles.
Yeah.
Just get a big bottle and then we could just...
Yeah, no, for sure. One of those things that you don't really think about whenever you're buying a welder. This bottle right here, I think I paid like $250 for. Something like that. Like, bottles are expensive, man. And that bottle, that ginormous one that Dylan has, that we've borrowed a few times, those ones are like $350. Like, they're expensive. So if you guys are in the market for a welder, you just need to remember that. It doesn't come with the gauges, the bottle, and obviously wire. You need to kind of factor all that stuff in. Yeah, anyhow, on to welding this shit. Yeah, so realistically I would MIG this, because you're just gonna fill all that in and get some good penetration, and then we can come back and basically smoothen it out the way that we did this so it looks really clean. And then I'd say MIG this all the way around, try to make this look as clean as you can, you know what I'm saying, because we're gonna basically leave those welds exposed. But then Brave and I were talking, we can also MIG the back here, so we have a lot of surface area that we can weld with these plates. Without the plates, it was 12 inches of weld going all the way around. So this was 4 inches? Yeah, so that's 4, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 inches of weld. And then I was adding it up with all of these plates on here. That's going to be a total of 80 inches of weld that we can put all the way around this damn thing, which is obviously going to make it a lot stronger.
Right, no, for sure.
But yeah, so anyhow, MIG this, and then everything underneath is all going to get MIG'd. But we're going to see if Curly can come over, because Curly lays down some really nice looking TIG welds. See if he'll come over and actually TIG this for us and TIG all of this inside of here, so that it actually looks really nice, has nice dimes in it, you know. So whenever you have the bed off, and because that's what we're shooting for, is for everything to still look good, you know. Obviously functionality is a huge thing, but we want it to look good as well. So
ready?
Yep, have fun. coolers off? Yeah. God dang there, buddy.
It's starting to get worse because the freaking wind was
Cooler?
blowing.
Yeah. No, that's pretty freaking sick, dude. You see, normally we'd got to go and hit that damn breaker like 4 times to get through that. Like, dude, I can't stress that enough, man, because that's just something you guys never seen, like behind the scenes, I guess you can call it. Literally me running back and forth from the breaker. It gets to a point to where I just stay over there and I wait for the pop. And then I'll count to like 5 to give it a second to cool off, like 1, 2, 3, and then pop it. But yeah, dude, it's been an absolute nightmare. So this is a game changer for sure. Good Lord, that came out clean, bro. I'm over here thinking we're gonna have to grind these welds down. Realistically, that looks freaking good. If you can make it look like that, I'd say screw waiting for someone to TIG weld it. Go ahead and MIG weld all that shit in, you know?
Yeah.
That looks good.
It's not too shabby.
Bro, that came out clean, dog. Stop being humble with your not too shabby bullshit.
That was pushing away from it, and that was pulling.
Yeah.
So like this was pushing, and then that was, I don't know what the terminology is, but this is a lot flatter of a
Did you
weld.
see how nice it is? You're able to weld that without stopping.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another thing. Every time that you have to stop to either let it cool off or you pop the breaker, the weld would always change because you're getting a good process going, good rhythm, and then bow, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
And then the wire is always stuck to it.
Oh,
So you gotta like cut it loose and it leaves a little nub, and
yeah.
yeah, that is, we literally would have had to went and pop the damn breaker like 6 times by now, dude. That's crazy. All right, got those things melted in and got the truck supported up on our block. Oh, this one's kind of doing a wheelie here. Yeah, I might want to grab the sledgehammer and knock that thing back to where it's flat. But moving on, that's all welded in. We got the engine in, got the mid plate and the front plate, everything in. Now we need to actually put the transmission in the truck. Dun dun dun. Yeah, Braven hasn't even showed you guys. You guys haven't even seen this on the channel yet. I think, did you share this on your Instagram? No? Well, I guess nobody has seen it. So this is a 2-speed Powerglide. There's a high gear, low gear, and if you guys know about Powerglides, then you already know that. But this one is built to basically handle what, 1500?
Yeah.
Or above that?
The only thing that's holding us back from 1500 plus is going to be the output shaft, which is the only thing. But that's just because it is it's a stock Powerglide diameter output shaft instead of a 400 output shaft. But realistically, it's not that far off.
Yeah, so this thing will handle safely up to 1500 horsepower.
It'll handle 1500 horsepower all day.
But in order to go past that, you need to change out the output shaft.
Realistically, it can handle probably up to like 2300 horsepower.
Yeah, so. And this is an aftermarket reed case. We can see that, which is all one piece, and these things are built to be a lot beefier than just a standard factory casing, of course. It's also got dump valves.
Yeah.
So without getting into too terribly much detail, if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys know what the dump valves are for, but this has an internal dump valve, and then it also has the external dump valve. So basically that gives you, like, for lack of a better term, to kind of simplify things, you guys know how if it's a manual vehicle, you can raise your RPM to a certain point and then slip the clutch to launch. That's kind of how you do it with an automatic.
Right. It just changed the activation point. That's it. So there's an internal external kit which basically just pulls the fluid out of the converter, which allows the converter to spin a little bit faster. Yeah. And then in between shifts you can activate it. There's so much you can do with the dump kits.
Yeah.
Now whether or not I needed them it's all just based on tuning, honestly. You don't need them if you have the right converter in the car, basically.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure most of you guys are aware, like if you cammed your truck and stuff, you get a different converter, and the converter has what is called a stall, correct? And the stall is basically the engagement point, like the RPM for in which the converter stops slipping and it grabs, kind of like a clutch, for lack of a better term. So if you have, let's say, a 3500 stall converter, now if you didn't have any kind of dump system, you were basically limited to launching at 3,500 RPM.
Right, exactly.
Correct? So where the dump valves allows you to adjust that. So once you get once you get a certain amount of PSI, of pressure inside of the converter, it'll lock at that 3,500 RPM, you know, or if it's 4,000 or 45, whatever the RPM is. With the dump valves, that allows you to literally dump that pressure and bypass it so that you're able to bring your RPMs up higher. And then whenever you release your line lock or your trans brake, whenever you release your trans brake, that pressure then builds and then locks the converter for it to stop slipping, you know? Right. Take that with a grain of salt. That's obviously very much so simplified, but that's the gist of it. This thing also has a trans brake. Yeah, so for the most part, this is a gangster ass unit built to handle every bit of the power that Braven's going to be able to throw at it with the current setup that he has right now.
Right. Yeah, so just a little bit more detail on it. I mean, it's basically a high-end, like, dragster style transmission. Like he did say, it has internal external dump kit and also has a trans brake, but it does have the Hughes Performance special big input shaft, which, as you'll be able to see, it's a 35 spline, but it is 1.125 thickness overall, which is a lot larger than a factory Powerglide, because a factory Powerglide is 17 spline, and then a Turbo 400 is a 30 spline. Well, this is a 35 spline. So the input shaft there alone will handle a crap ton of horsepower, never have to worry about it. And I can launch as hard as I want. That thing's not going to break. So
and of course, with all of that, it has the Hughes upgraded oil pump, as well as the valve body. Basically all the internals, everything internally is.
It does have a reed. This one has a reed pump.
Oh, okay.
So this one has a reed pump, but it is, you know, it's all calibrated to exactly how Hughes likes it. And I did help build this, and I did get a bunch of footage and stuff like that of building this and putting this thing together. So,
did you?
Yeah, it's just I just haven't used it yet because we haven't installed it. But yeah, no, definitely huge shout out to Hughes Performance. You guys obviously know I work there, so they deal with me every single day there. But
for sure,
I was fortunate enough to be able to be taught how to put this together, and was actually hands-on of putting this thing together and building it myself, with the guidance of, you know, our Powerglide guy Freddie that actually builds them.
With the professionals.
With the professionals. Exactly. So.
Hell yeah, now we get the task of putting the son bitch in the truck. Definitely a dope ass unit. Huge shout out to Hughes Performance. Of course, you guys need anything, whether it is just like factory replacement transmissions that you want to know is good and reliable, or high horsepower, even higher horsepower than what this thing is. I mean, this is a really nice unit for what it is Braven's gonna be doing. But of course, they build stuff, they have the ability of building stuff a lot higher performance than even this thing is.
From everything from
406s, 408s, 400s, like, you know what I mean? Everything. Like, if
Yeah.
you want something for a street truck that's gonna be able to handle 2,500 horsepower.
Yeah,
you
even
can
if
do
you're
that.
not in a Chevy, they have stuff for non-Chevy stuff too.
Right, which then we'll just tell you to put a Chevy transmission in it because they make the best transmissions.
Hell yeah. So anyhow, the point is we need to get the transmission in the truck because currently we don't have a cross member for it. We're just gonna make one, but it's gonna help tremendously to actually have the transmission in there. And since being this engine is motor plated, it's got an engine plate in the rear and in the front. So this engine is solid. We're gonna be capable of bolting the transmission in there and it'll basically just hang, you know, exactly where it is that it needs to be. Did you take that ball from the puffer? Did you take the ball from the puffer? What have you got there, Toby? Give me that ball, Toby! Jesus Christ. You put your butthole in the camera? Give me that ball, Toby. Cheese and rice, man. What are you doing, puffer? Toby, give me that damn ball! Give me that damn ball, Toby! Alright, only issue we ran into was the dump valves. Where they were mounted isn't going to work because obviously it hits the trans tunnel. So we kind of knew that before going into this, that those may end up needing to be moved because you can literally mount these anywhere. So we'll have to figure that out. But at least it's in here. Now we can start figuring out the cross member because it's got a bolt right here for the transmission. But another really important thing is now we can get a drive shaft measurement because we got to go from that point right there to this point right here. Now we actually have the points. Oh, do you have your thing? Yeah, the slip yoke. You don't have that? Oh.
No, sorry, Bob. I don't have one.
Well, you need that in order to measure for the drive shaft.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
You need it just from the output shaft that way. Because what you tell them is the measurement from saying, hey, this is on the output shaft to that mounting surface. You just have to let them know. They'll account for it.
I think that's what I did, and my drive shaft is about a half of an inch too long. But here's what it is.
They can handle it. They're smart fellows over there.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna crawl up underneath here so you got the transmission in there. Oh yeah, look at that bad boy. So the dumps, as you guys can see, the bracket was attached to these two bolts here and the dumps were living like right here. So those obviously are gonna have to be moved. We went ahead and removed them for now and the lines and everything. So we can figure that out later. Honestly, the dumps can literally mount anywhere. Like you can mount them to the transmission. We can mount them to the cross member that we're about to build. You know, they could be mounted over here. Like they can mount basically anywhere. Just where they were wasn't going to work. So went ahead and removed those for now. But anyhow, as you can see, the transmission is up in there and it'll literally just hang with the motor plates. It's capable of doing this, you know what I mean? If you're to do this in your Tahoe or your Silverado, the whole thing would sag down. It would put a bunch of strain on the engine mounts. But this doesn't have engine mounts, and you see it's got the engine travel limiters right there. So that's literally just a plate that bolts to where the factory engine mounts would have bolted, and then yeah, just has a stiff arm, for lack of a better term, that comes down to the frame right there. Those are on both sides. So yeah, this engine is mounted like solid. You're gonna feel every little bit of vibration from the engine sitting in the driver's seat of this thing, which is gonna be intense, bro. But anyhow,
I'm excited for it. I want all the intensity.
All the intensity. So now what we need to do is fab up a cross member for this, and it's gonna be really simple. We, for the most part, just need to make a plate that will like bolt to the frame on this side and on this side, and then just have a pole, just a tube going straight across. And what we're thinking is just a tube going straight up to a plate that this bolts onto. We're gonna go look and see if we got enough material over there on the Carter material.
My $4,000 material over there?
Yeah, it's $4,000 cage that we cut out. We should have enough material out of that. And no, we're not gonna drop it. We're gonna talk about this forever. until Carter pays the $4,000 back. There it is, the infamous $4,000 worth of material we got out here. Anyhow, I think this piece right here will be plenty. Here's my cage for the S10 that I bought from the junkyard, which who knows if I'll ever even use. Oh look, there's my truck. Look at this guy. Wow. You know you guys been wanting to see this thing. There's the dash, the Braven's truck inside my engine bay. Alright, well this right here should be plenty enough material for the tubing portion. I just need to find ourselves some squares that we can make for the bolt-on portion. Alrighty, this is what we'll use for our plate. So this is going to be really simple. Basically, all we need to do is cut ourselves some squares, right? And then out of these squares, we're going to have 4 bolting holes. So we'll have this times 2. And then we also have a hole saw here that is the exact size of this tubing. So we'll just find the center, and I'd say drill that hole out so that then we can measure this tube, make it the exact length from frame rail to frame rail, and then the tube will fit centered inside of these guys. And we can get underneath there and mark the holes, drill the frame. We have some rib nuts with 3/8 of an inch bolts. So we'll put 4 on each side for a total of 8. And then this pole, this tubing will get welded to the plate all the way around. And it'll also be sitting inside of the plate. So it doesn't have, so it makes it stronger for shear weight. Like it'll handle more shear weight. So yeah, cut 2 of these plates. And then we need to figure out the length of this. And then basically we'll get this built right now. So it'll be a plate and a plate with the tube running in between. And that tube has to be directly underneath the transmission where it bolts. And then we'll use a piece of drop and then have to get the tube notcher out and notch a piece that will sit right on top, right in the center, and then extend up to a little plate where Braven attaches his rubber mount. And then from there, the transmission sits on top of it. Bang, bang. And then, yeah, bolts, bolt, bolt, bolt. That's the idea. All right, we got the brackets made up. So Braven wants the bar, the cross member, to be absolutely as low as it possibly can be. So for the most part, it's going to be flush with the bottom of the frame, left to right. So his coolant lines that we talked about earlier in the video, these guys right here, his hard lines, they actually run, you know, within the mass of the frame, but they are a little high. So we're gonna put this cross member as low as possible just to make damn sure that we don't have a problem clearing those guys. And then we are using 3/8 of an inch bolts. So the 3 holes, I decided that we're gonna do 3 bolts on each side rather than 4. I guess Braven was talking with his co-workers And realistically, you don't even have to run a cross member for the transmission whenever you have the engine plates.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to necessarily, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a street truck that I'd rather not.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess you don't have to, but just for peace of mind, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I don't think it hurts to have that little bit of support on the transmission. You know what I mean? But
Especially because I'm an aluminum block.
yeah, so.
You know what I mean?
So I think 3 bolts on each side will be fine, where most people actually don't even run a cross member at all. So it is what it is. So we're gonna only do 3 bolts, but I left just the small pilot hole so that we can actually get underneath here. Now I need to measure how long I need to cut that thing down, and then we can get in there and kind of mock it all up. And I could use these to actually drill the pilot holes on the frame so that then we know that the holes are going to be like dead on. Hallelujah. Moment of truth, man. You got to see if this thing fits in there. So the problem is the frame kind of does. It's not like this. It's kind of more like this. So kind of picked a happy medium. Alright, I need to take about a blade's width off. Dang, that boy sounds hot.
What's up there?
Good Lord. And how you liking that?
It's nice. It's a lot more. You get a lot hotter, that's for sure. So like the puddle melts a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But still trying to get used to, like, the wand is different. Like the trigger weight is a little different.
Yeah.
Just the way the gas comes out is a little different. So it's just trying to get used to it. But
yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty good. I like it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty nice welder, especially for the price, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, $350.
Oh yeah, for that, those kind of welds, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I would do that any day.
Anyhow, basically got this thing all fabbed up. Braven finished it off. Now just getting everything welded and then put her back in there, and it is complete. So are we gonna end up having to take all this stuff back off to paint it?
At some point.
Yeah, at some point for sure. Transmission cross member is complete. Now, there's still a lot of work to be done down here. Honestly, there's still a lot of work to be done all over the truck. Like I was mentioning earlier, the dumps that have to go back on here, we could literally make some kind of plate and mount them to this guy if we needed to. It would be nice to figure out a way to mount them directly to the transmission, because it would kind of suck anytime that you have to drop the transmission, having to disconnect the dumps and everything, where if they're actually fixed to the transmission, you can just drop it with it, you know what I mean? But anyhow, we'll figure that out later. Braven got his hard lines for the coolant back in here, and as you can see, it's clearing the cross member, and it's above the cross member, which is important, so we don't have to take these out every time we want to take that out, you know? But anyhow, dude, definitely made huge progress on this thing this week. So Braven and I just kind of focused on the truck all week long. Kind of the reason why I didn't really post videos all week is we decided to just focus on this thing and try to get as much done as we can. So you see he's got his lines hooked up over here. For those of you who missed the older videos, those hard lines is just a feed and a return for the coolant to run through the block. This is just basically a coolant block that just allows the water to pass through. And whenever we figure out exactly what radiator we're going to be running and stuff, we got to do that because his old radiator, like I mentioned, isn't going to work anymore. And there will be an electric water pump in the back of the truck that actually pumps the water through the engine and back to the radiator, keep it cool. Currently the hard lines are coming out right here, and what we're going to end up doing is probably cutting them back to about there and re-welding a set of the AN fittings back here, and then from that point he'll just have AN lines running up to the radiator. So we haven't decided if we want to mount the radiator here or if we're gonna mount the radiator all the way back here on the back. Also, the fuel cell is just sitting here. This is not permanent. This is where the fuel cell is gonna be, but this mounting bracket is incorrect, so we're gonna focus on that in the next video as well. So we still have a lot of work, man, a lot of work to do, but we definitely made some huge progress. Anti-roll bar, got the shock mounts all gusseted and welded in. We figured some stuff out as far as coolant, got the transmission and engine in, transmission cross member. Of course the transmission's gonna have to come back out because there's not even a torque converter in there right now. Braven's torque converter is currently getting built over at Hughes. He's getting a pretty dope ass torque converter too, man. We'll show you guys that whenever he does bring that home. But anyhow, like I was saying, we just kind of focused on this thing all week long. So put in the comments if you guys like this type of video, a much longer video. We get a whole lot more done in one video. All of this stuff that we did, I could have broke it up and posted it as individual videos all week. I decided to just put it all together in just one really long video. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do smash the like button. And I do have all of the videos on the Colorado in a playlist. You just have to click on, go to my channel, click on playlist. You'll see all the different playlists. If you want to catch up on this thing, all the older videos, kind of from the start to where we're at now, just go to the channel, click on playlists, and go check those out, man. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're excited to see this thing finally get done. Peace, and we will see you on the next one.